and welcome back to day 2 of our second round of Keeping It Simple. And we're working with the half and half layout design. And so how can we make that different from what we did in yesterday's video? So first thing I did was pick my pattern paper. I made sure I picked one where I liked both sides, and I really love this paper. It's from Heart to Help paper pack. It's just beautiful, gorgeous paper. I have 2 sheets because I'll be making a double page layout. I'm going to mirror one side to the other, so I do need 2 sheets of that. And then I am going to be working on white cardstock as my background piece today. Okay, and these are just the index cards from paper packs that I've used up or combined with others. So let's move all this aside. So let's pull in our 12-inch trimmer. And first thing is we just need to cut these in half. Okay, so we're going to make a 6-inch cut on both of them. Okay, same thing to the second piece. Okay, let's put this aside for now. Okay, bring in our white cardstock, and here I have my paper cuts. So we want to do just like we did in yesterday's video. We're going to do half on the top and half on the bottom. So this time, to make this a little bit different and just to show the ease of using this one layout design for multiple pages and how can we make that different, we'll pull back in our 12-inch trimmer. What I want to do is off the top, and you could have done this on the first piece before you cut it as well, but on the top I want to take off a 1/2 inch, and on the side I want to take off a 1/4 inch, which is to the edge of your gray mat on your trimmer. Okay, now I might come back and take off a little more, but we're gonna wait and see. Okay, now on the bottom, same thing. I want to do a 1/2 inch from the long side and then a 1/4 inch from the shorter side. So what that's going to do is going to help to show a little bit of a frame around our papers. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. You can stack them up if you're comfortable with that. So I'm going to do again a 1/2 inch off the long sides and a 1/4 inch off the short side. Okay, let's see what we have here. So you'll see we have an exact mirror image on one side and the other. And you can, again, have this running the full length across the 2-page spread on both sides, or you could mix and match if you wanted to. Do something like that. That's cute too. I am going to keep the flowers on the top of my page and the blue toward the bottom. I love that look. I think it's nice to have the darker page at the bottom. But what I'm going to do on my page is, because I want it to be a 2-page spread, and it's nice to have the border all the way around, but what I want to do is slide both of them to the edge of the paper. So it does look like one continuous page. I'm going to bring in my grain mat here for a minute. I just want to line it up. So I took a 1/2 inch off the top and a 1/2 inch off the bottom. The reason I wanted to double check is because I think I do want a little bit more white space showing over on the side. So I'm going to take off another 1/4 inch. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so there we go. We have the exact same layout design as we had yesterday. We have a 1/2 and 1/2. So we used half of our paper on the top, half of our paper on the bottom. Very simple, very easy, but yet you can already see this is such beautiful paper that it's going to be a very beautiful layout. So let's go ahead and continue creating our layout. When I go to adhere the paper on, I could just wallpaper it like we were talking about yesterday. I don't need to use my washi tape to connect them together. I can just put the adhesive right on the back of these and adhere it to the paper like that. Okay, so let's add a couple simple techniques to enhance our layout and make it different from the one we did yesterday. So I'm going to bring in my Creative Memories corner rounder. It has two sides to punch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this ticket type punch on the corners of the 4 outside corners of the paper. Okay, so I'll start with this yellow one on the left hand side, put it into the punch, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a notched look. It's very subtle, but it's going to add just to our overall feel of our photos. Okay, do the other side. That's one way that we can quickly change our layout and make it a little bit different. You can use the corner edge that I used, which looks like the ticket notch, or you can do it the traditional way and get a rounded corner. Either way would look super nice here. So to cover the seam today, I'm going to bring in my border making system, and I'm going to use the Flourish Vines cartridge. Okay, so I've already put that inside the housing. And I'm going to use a piece of light blue cardstock. Okay, we'll open this up. We slide the paper right into the corner, put down the magnetic bar, flip back the paper guide so it tucks underneath the tray, and then we're going to take our cartridge and we're going to go all the way down 6 times, and I'll make 2 of them. One for each side. Okay, so I'll put you on fast forward and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I ended up doing was trimmed this at 1 1/4 inches, trying to decide, how much extra depth I wanted here. So I went with 1 1/4 inches, and I'll explain why in one minute. So you can trim that if you're using, any of your punches, your border punches or your border making cartridges. A lot of them would work here. Just use your favorite. I just went with the Flourish Vines because I thought it's going to go perfect with my photos. So use something that you like, and that's going to be an enhancement for your page and your photos. And then if you're using something like this where it's an edge punch out, then you have the decision to make of how much you wanted to leave right there. So that's why I did 1 1/4, because I do want to dress that up just a little bit more. I'm going to lay this right over the top of the seam between the 2 papers. Okay, and I am going to keep that and run it the whole 12 inches so it does hang off a little bit at the end. And then same thing on the other side. Okay, so it'll look like that. Already looking so beautiful, but yet a little bit different than what we did yesterday. Then what I want to do also is I went into my stash and found some washi tape that I liked, and I liked this dark blue one with some stars on it. And so what I'm going to do is when I adhere all this down, I'm going to adhere that right on top of that as well. Okay, just to bring in a darker blue onto this layout. So let me go ahead and get all this adhered down, and then I'll come back and we'll do some photo placement. Hold on. And I'm back. Everything is adhered down. Put on this little strip of washi tape. So I decided that I liked the washi tape at the very edge of it instead of having it show through. This is a very, very thin washi. It's about 1/8 of an inch. And I love this washi just to add a little bit of pop and to bring in yet another color, or two in this case. I brought in a navy blue and some gold. I decided to do it at the top instead of partially down, so I went back in and I did trim my border down to a 1-inch border. Instead, when I left, I had it at 1 1/4. So I did take off another 1/4 inch and then added that washi to the top. But I think that it looks beautiful and it changes up my layout just ever so slightly. Okay, so let's bring in our photos and see what I have going on here. So I have a lot of photos that I want to incorporate, and I do want to keep this to a 2-page spread. So I probably will be adding in a peekaboo pocket or 2. So some of the photos, I might not be able to show you their faces, but let's see what we have going on here. If I can trim down the photos, that will be even better, but it'll just make it a little harder to use my peekaboo pocket. So let's see. So I have 3 photos here that I kind of want to keep together. Then maybe I'll put those on that side. Yeah, let's just see what we have. I'm thinking like the vertical photos at the top, and then down here at the bottom is maybe I could put some 4x4 photos down here along this portion down here, or smaller. So I also have, I think maybe a 3.5 for well, let's see. Okay, so let's see what we have. Down here will be all photos that I can trim. Okay, so I could probably put about 3 photos there, and maybe on this side as well. And then lastly, I do have 3 photos here that I could put all under this one. This one I kind of want to keep in its size, because this was our invitation to the party. So maybe I'm going to do something like that, and then cut that one down, and then put 3 over here on this side. Okay, so this was my daughter's 26th birthday bash, and we did a beer tasting party. We tasted several different beers and filled out chart of what we thought of each one. So it's pretty fun. Okay, so for the top, we're working with about a 5.5-inch section here. Remember, we cut down 1/2 inch. So I would like to cut my photos to be either a 5-inch or even 5 1/4 inches. So I think that's what I'm going to do at the top here. Our personal trimmers do not go to 5.5 inches. So let's bring in, 5 1/4 inches. So it's easier if I do this on my 12-inch trimmer. So I'll go ahead and do that 5 1/4 inches, and let's see if we like that. It's still a little big, so let's go to a 5-inch cut. I like how that fits in here, and you can still come back in matte if you wanted. So that's what I'll do. I'll trim all those to 5 inches, which I can use my personal trimmer for. And then down here, I will start with, I think 4 inches is going to be too big because I'm not going to be able to get 3 across. So I will do 3.5 inches for all of these and see if that's going to work out. And then on this side, I'll keep this at a 4x6 and trim that one down to whatever, to the 3.5 that I'm going to use over here as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring my personal trimmer back in, and I'll get all these trimmed up. I'll put you on fast forward, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did get all of these cropped down. This is going to be the page layout with the photos, and I don't think I'm going to matte. I think these pictures are pop out just perfectly the way that they are. And then I have 3 pictures here. That'll be another peekaboo pocket. I'm just sliding everything toward each other, toward the center as much as I can without crowding them. Okay, you'll see I did switch out a couple of the photos down here as well. So that's going to be the page layout. Now let's talk about embellishing and where I would put embellishing. So I'm going to definitely do some embellishing on both sides of the top because I have an open area here. I think what I'll do is embellish right around here where it has the where the invitation is. I think that would be a great spot, and it gives me my visual triangle and kind of guides your it's going to guide your eye going from across the page and then back up the other side. So the Heart to Help paper pack did not come with any embellishments, so I had to go into my stash and gather some supplies. So what I decided was I did like the light blue that I used down here, so I took that cardstock and I made a few punch outs from my Big Kick or my manual die cutting machine, and then I also did a couple other die cuts out on some dark blue cardstock as well, just to give myself some options and some choices. Then I went into a birthday collection and pulled out some birthday things that were blue or yellow, and then some stickers, and we'll see what I'm going to incorporate. I also found some small words, which I really like to use. And then lastly, I went into my Cricut. Recently, Creative Memories put out a brewery themed collection, so I thought it would be great to see what they had available. So I cut out a few embellishments on my Cricut, and then I also just grabbed some labels because I love adding labels into my embellishment clusters. So I just grabbed a blue and a couple yellow ones. Okay, so that's what we have for embellishments. So let's see what we can do with that. Okay, so I was thinking right over here for the big one, I had this die cut, and it just reminded me of like bubbles on top of a beer. So like the head of the beer. So I thought, okay, I kind of like it maybe as my base over here. And then that's where I'm going to put this title that just says Happy Birthdays. I have some dead space on my photo there, so I thought, perfect, I'll put that Happy Birthday right there. And see, I'm okay with mixing the different blues in my layouts also. I don't feel like the blues have to be an exact match. Over here for the base, I had this half of die cut I must have used for something else, and I'm just going to tuck that one in right there. On top of this, I liked this blue die cut that I made from the same blue paper down here, so I'm simply just going to layer up my circles like that. Okay, let's see what else. Some things I knew right away I was going to do. Others I'm going to have to think about. Down here where it says beer and burger night, I really want it to say happy day. I probably am going to pop this up onto some foam tape. Okay, let's see. Okay, so right here, I cut a couple different flowers out. I thought that this die cut matched the paper from the Heart to Help collection. That was like the perfect looking flower. So I like that. I'm going to, I made one like clear, and then I backed one with some dark blue. So I think I'm going to take that dark blue one and put it so it's touching the photo a little bit, but not covering up the words. And then this one, like I said, that'll be popped up onto some foam tape. I really like this flight of beer tasting because that's pretty much what we were doing. So at this party, and I like the word cheers. Okay, let's see what else. Let me move this aside. Let's see if we like that there. Okay, I also love these two bottles of beer. This came from my Creative Memories digital art kit. So I kind of want it tucking in behind the happy birthday like that. You'll notice it has like a black outline. That's because when I cut it, I left the offset as black. I thought that would kind of give it a little bit of a pop. I also want to incorporate some labels, and I'm liking these two for over here. The blue really brings out some more blue. Let's see if we like the yellow. I do like that, but let's put the blue one back in for now. I like using labels on my embellishments because it kind of helps give it some more dimension and make your embellishment cluster a little bit longer in appearance. Okay, we don't need yellow here, and I don't think I need yellow up there. So let's see what else we have. I do like the arrows. I printed a couple different arrows for whatever reason. Yep, I do like the blue, the dark blues against the light blue. Okay, let's see. Something like that. What else do we have in here? I had a couple of these beer bottle tops that I cut from the Cricut. I kind of want to take advantage of the dark space on that photo, although this is going to be a peekaboo pocket, so I have to kind of keep that in mind as well. So let's do something like maybe the beer bottle underneath the happy day. Yeah, I kind of like that. And the dark one, the black one over here. I like that. I'm not sure I want this flight of beer here. I'm kind of thinking coming down here with a couple things. Just a little bit of something else to add to the layout just because it's beer themed and I thought it was super cute. So yeah, maybe I will do something like that. Okay, so I like the little word stickers. I found a few in my birthday kit. This one says, "It's your year, celebrating you, let's party." See, these are all like appropriate for a birthday party. Happy day, which I used there, so probably skip that one. And then this one says cheers, which I want to incorporate down here, so I'll take that one out as well. Okay, so celebrating you. Maybe we can put that one over here, pointing in. It's your year. Maybe we can put that one on top of our blue label. Give our label a little purpose over there. We can even do let's party down there next to the cheers. That's kind of cute. Kind of evened out that embellishment cluster right there. And now each of our embellishment clusters has plenty of reading material, but I will put my journaling. So my journaling is going to go, I have the 3 photos that will go in the peekaboo pocket here. And then, the backside of this will be my journaling, and maybe I'll trim down this other picture. We'll see. But my journaling will go behind this photo. Okay, that's the bottom photo right there for the pocket. Yep, I think I am happy with that. I think that's just enough embellishing to keep our layout simple. We brought in our beer theme, we brought in our birthday theme, and then we kept with the yellow and blue scheme of our paper. Let me go ahead and get this adhered down, and I'm going to grab the layout from yesterday and we'll compare and see the differences between both of them. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So I have everything adhered down in my clusters and my photos. So the last thing I will do is once I put it into the page protector is to put on the peekaboo pockets. Okay, so that's it. I'll have a peekaboo pocket here, here, and here. Let me bring back in the layout from yesterday. Okay, so here's the layout from yesterday. And we just used a full 6 by 12 inch on the top and the bottom. We took the same piece of paper, cut it in half, made our half and half design, and then we used a border sticker to cover up the seam. And you'll see the pictures are still relatively laid out the same, where I'm utilizing the bottom portion and the top portion, where I did have some overlap on this layout. This layout design could be tweaked over and over to meet the needs of your photos and your embellishments. So that wraps up today's video and video number 2 in this second round of Keeping It Simple. And we'll be back tomorrow with our third and final layout. And let's see, how can we tweak this again to get yet another layout from this very simple design. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.